Hey so what's up? It's Matt, back with the Succeeding in the Match video blog, and this week I'm going to cover a pretty simple topic, but nonetheless an important one, and that's scheduling your interview. And there's a couple pieces of advice I have for you here. First and foremost is return the requests as soon as possible, because most programs actually offer more requests than they have slots, and you don't want to get blocked out of an interview just because you sat on an interview request for a little while. That said, most people nowadays have smartphones or access to the internet even in the hospital. Check your email a couple times a day and respond via phone, if you can, to the scheduling request, because what's nice about this is you get to actually talk to the person that's scheduling your request, get it kind of done right there in real time, and potentially can get back and forth with, if your first date is full already, you can get your second date right away, as opposed to taking the time and the bottleneck that it takes to schedule via email. Another piece of advice is create a Google Calendar. I think this is a really useful tool for you to schedule your life around these next couple months. And it's going to be a busy schedule. So use all the tools at your disposal, and Google Calendar is a really useful tool. A third piece that I'd say is don't hesitate to interview later on in the season if it suits your schedule better. So say, for example, you get an early interview request from a program in a city where you have a lot of interview hopes. So you interviewing in Chicago, for example. Don't waste time and money going to Chicago multiple times throughout the season. The interview process is not a rolling admission process, so it doesn't behoove you to interview in November versus interviewing in January. So if you're waiting on interview requests, don't wait to schedule, just schedule your interviews later on in the season in hopes that you'll have an open block of time at that point. And then last but not least is don't compare the number of interviews you have with other people. It is a recipe for stress. I had a roommate who was applying in pediatrics, a totally different field than I was going into, and yet I at some point compared number of interview slots with him, and I had 0, and he had like 12, and I started freaking out, and there's no reason for it, because in reality I got all the interviews I wanted. It was just a matter of my specialty tended to offer a little bit later than his. So don't worry about it. Just really try to stay calm and everything will be okay.